Good morning everyone, Rich Wong here. Welcome back to the channel. If you have a 360 camera, one of the must-have accessory is the invisible selfie stick. Because the way how the 360 camera stitch the image from the front and the rear camera together, the selfie stick would completely disappear in the final output video, and it looks like someone is holding the camera and recording the video for you. Using a 360 camera to do some vlogging style video or capture some travel video, and it can create some very unique video that normal camera cannot give you. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 tips and tricks that if you follow, you can improve the quality of your 360 video to the next level. And the best thing is, what you need is just your 360 camera and a selfie stick. You don't need to buy or carry any other additional accessories. When I first start using the 360 camera, I just hold the selfie stick and put the camera in front of me and start shooting. But when I edit and review my video, I notice a lot of time I look quite weird in the video. The reason is, each of the camera on the 360 camera can capture over 180 degrees field of view. It means the camera has really ultra wide angle lenses. If you are not careful with the position of the camera, it could distort everything super easily. There are 2 things that you need to be careful: the distance between yourself and the camera, and the height of the camera. Let's talk about the distance first. Now, there's no perfect distance between yourself and the camera because the distance really depends on how you want your video to look like. Some people may want to have your full body in the video, while some other people may want to have a more close-up shot of yourself, maybe just including the head and shoulder. If you want yourself to be bigger in the video, your instance may be, well, I just put the camera closer to myself. But you actually should do the opposite thing. You should hold and point your selfie stick slightly further away. So a distance of about 1 meter or 3 feet between yourself and the camera is a good starting point, but you should give it a try and see what looks the best. The problem with holding the camera too close and you want to have your face pretty large in the video is, you'll find your face looks quite distorted in the video. It's because you are basically shooting yourself using a fisheye lens at close distance, so your face will definitely looks a bit distorted and looks quite funny. Now on the other hand, if you want to have your whole body in the video, then you could hold the camera slightly closer. Your face would still be distorted, but because you want to see your whole body, so you don't actually zoom in your face so much when you're editing the video, so that means you won't really notice the distortion of your face so much. But in this case, you need to be more careful about the height of your camera. Changing the height of the camera would dramatically change how your body looks like. If you hold the camera up quite high, your head would look really big and your body and your feet would look quite small. And if the camera is at a very low position, the opposite would happen. You will have very long leg and long body, but your head would look a lot smaller than it should be. For the most natural looking video, you will want to hold the camera somewhere around the shoulder level. This way, your head, your body, your legs would all look relatively normal in terms of size. But again, I would also suggest you to do a bit of experiment yourself and see what is the height that gives you the results that you like the most. One of the greatest thing about 360 camera is it can capture image in 360 degree direction, so you don't really have to worry too much about where you point the camera. You can just adjust the camera angle when editing. But there's one thing that you should try to avoid, and that is not to hold the camera in a way so you or any of the main subject is right between the front and rear camera. It means when you are recording using the 360 camera, you don't want the side of the camera to point exactly directly towards yourself. And the reason is, even though our 360 cameras can do a reasonably good job stitching the image captured by the front and the rear camera and make the jaunt almost seamless, but it's never really 100% perfect as the camera has a certain thickness. So the area that is right between the two cameras would always have a bit of stitching artifacts. It's usually not very obvious if it's just the background that is far away, but for something that is close to the camera, especially a human being, then we will notice the stitching artifact quite easily. So yes, always try avoid placing the main subject right between the front and rear camera when you're recording using a 360 camera. The coolest thing about using a 360 camera with a selfie stick is that it creates the illusion that you are not holding the camera yourself because of the invisible selfie stick. It looks like someone else is holding the camera. But if you are not careful, the selfie stick could still become visible. When recording on a sunny day, you may see the shadow of yourself and also the selfie stick in the video. Look at the shadow and people can see that you are holding a selfie stick. And the solution is very simple. Always hold the selfie stick in the opposite direction to the sun if you want to avoid having the shadow visible. This way, the shadow of the selfie stick won't appear in the video. Now, one little problem is, it may not be always possible to shoot in opposite direction to the sun. There may be some beautiful scenery that you want to show that is only on one side. When it happens, you could consider walk in the shadow area or position your camera lower so the camera angle would be pointing up so your shadow won't be so visible in the video. The latest 360 cameras have very good image stabilization system. The image stabilization can correct the rotation of the camera in any direction, no matter you tilt the camera up or down, left or right, rotate it left or right, or a combination of these different rotations. The electronic image stabilization system can still correct all these different rotations to give you a very smooth output video. But if you are physically moving the position of the camera, then there's nothing the image stabilization system can do because it just can't physically shift the camera position. So what happens quite often is you may see some up and down movement as you are walking, and that effect looks pretty annoying as your video looks so smooth otherwise. And that up and down movement is just because when you are holding the selfie stick and walking, you may just bounce the camera up and down a little bit. If you are recording in an open area, this is usually not very noticeable, but if you are recording in an indoor space, then it could be quite obvious. The only real solution is you have to be more careful with the selfie stick and minimize any up-down camera movement, and also try to stay a little bit away from any walls to make the up-down movement less obvious. Usually we would hold the selfie stick in front of us when recording using a 360 camera, but you should try and hold the camera behind you to make things look a little bit different. And I would say quite often, shooting from behind is a better camera angle. If you place the camera behind you, while you cannot see your face in the video, your video can show both yourself and where you are walking towards at the same time. A bit like you are playing a third-person view video game. And when you want to hold the camera behind you, usually you would hold it this way. It's quite natural to hold the camera like this. The only thing I don't like is you could kind of see that you are holding the selfie stick in the video. To avoid that, you could hold it like this instead, to have the selfie stick out from underneath your arm. This way, you cannot really see you are holding the selfie stick at all in the video, and the video will look more natural. So I would suggest you to give it a try next time when you're out shooting with your 360 camera. Okay, so here are my 5 tips to help you improve the video capture using a 360 camera. If you follow these tips, your video should look much better, looks more professional, and you can create the illusion that you have a personal videographer that helps you record and document your next adventure.